As sure as the star-bellied sneeches butter the underside of their toast. All things being equal, the simplest answer's worth most. Don't rely on Vishnu, Buddha, Ron Popeil, or the Holy Ghost. Just consider these words, and that ship of life you're sailing on might not smash into the coast.
So hello everybody, this is Susan Gerbic from the Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia project, and today I have a huge treat for you. I am speaking to George Hrab.
Huge treat. Are you saying I'm fat? Are you calling me fat? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're implying?
He seems to be in everything I listen to these days. If he isn't being interviewed or part of it, one of his music is being used in the intro or the outro or the something, or somebody's mentioning him. It's just like George Hrab, George Hrab, George Hrab, George Hrab.
Oh, yeah. Sorry for that. I think
it's so exciting. It's so exciting. The European Skeptic podcast that, of course, I'm a very big fan of is using his music intro. One of your songs, I don't know what it's called, but I'm humming it. Sometimes I find myself going, "You told me the aliens really."
Oh yes, that's actually that was a song that was co-written. It was like an auctioned off item that was co-written.
Oh.
It was such a fun time. So yeah, the fact that song is used is really really
that aliens really exist. You met them and swooned with elation. They took you to Pluto and boy were they pissed. Demoted while on their vacation.
And the European skeptic guys are incredibly nice and cool, and they were very polite about asking if they could use it. And I kind of have this open policy of like, if you want to use my stuff, as long as you ask nicely, go for it. So they asked very nicely, and they use it now every week, and it's very, very cool.
Yeah. Okay, we're on Skepticality right now. Hey, Skepticality listeners, yay!
Skepticality. Oh, it's been too long. My goodness.
Skepticality. Yeah. Okay, so can you tell people the few people out there who might not know who George Hrab is, who have not yet read your Wikipedia page, who is George Hrab?
Oh, goodness. Musician, composer guy. I'm the host of the Geologic podcast, and occasionally I have conned people into letting me be the MC for their gatherings of skeptically minded people. That's pretty much where I'm at.
And Geologic podcast has nothing to do with geology, right?
Correct. Very, very, very little. About 0.01% has to do with geology. The rest is just me talking about what it's like to be a critically minded musician, skeptic, lover of Monty Python and Stan Freberg, and things like that. And then my stories as a professional musician, what that life is like, and how it all intermingles into kind of this strange gumbo pudding.
Gumbo. So Las Vegas, baby. So you're going to be the MC for SciCon 4. The dates are October 27th to the 30th at the Excalibur Hotel. Tell me more.
Very exciting. What's interesting is I've never been in Las Vegas in October. Mm-hmm. I was lucky enough to be the MC for a number of TAMs, the amazing meetings that occurred there in Vegas, and that was always in the thick of the heat and the nastiness. In the middle of July, we'd be there where you would step outside for maybe 7.5 seconds, and you would just get hit by this wall of sort of moist warmth. And just like Satan's breath would just hit you as you walked outside. So I'm curious to see what it's going to be like to be there in October, where you might step outside and maybe it'll just be like one of the minions' nasty breaths as opposed to the satanic breath coming off the desert. I don't know what the mean temperature is in October in Vegas. It's probably maybe upper 70s, maybe mid 80s. It might be lovely. Maybe we could even like go for a walk outside and get this strange concept of fresh air. I don't know what skeptics will do in Las Vegas if they have access to fresh air. It might give a totally different perspective on the entire operation.
When was your first TAM?
First one I did, I think it was TAM 6.
July, every time you've been there.
In July, every time I've been there, yeah. Every time I've been there, and it just dries you out. It's amazing. You sort of get off the plane, and by the time you've got your luggage, your nose is just full of Triscuits. It's incredible. It just somehow automatically this thing happens where it's just this crunchy, like this is the inside of your nose kind of sounds like that, and that's just what you're dealing with. But it's fine. Yeah, Tam 6 was the first one I got. I was asked to perform in between speakers. I just did a little interlude between a couple speakers. I think I was right after Penn and Teller, which was terrifying. And that's how it all started. But it was worth it because, we got to see these incredible speakers. We got to be around these incredible like-minded people, which is always a blast. Mm-hmm. And that was the thing, is you were willing to have Trisket nose. You were willing to have melted eyeballs because you got to be in a room with James Randi, which is the whole point. And so it was totally worth it. Much like now in October, I'm thinking, looking at this lineup of speakers that's going to be happening, my goodness. I mean, I would gladly have semi-melted eyeballs to watch, Sanal Edemaruku. Have you ever heard him speak?
Yes, actually, I've been to
gosh,
Tam.
I was so moved by his message and his.
He's amazing.
He's amazing, and I was like literally sort of like in tears of just thinking about what this guy has gone through.
Right, he's
what
like
his
a real
family
hero.
has gone through.
He makes us look like we're doing nothing.
That's what I mean. It's just like, okay, yeah, we can complain because, skeptics, we get bad press. And this guy, meanwhile, is literally fighting for his life and for his children and his wife's life, and risking his home, risking his life to promote the stuff that we take for granted on a certain level. And just he's doing it with a smile and doing it with this cheeriness that is just infectious. And he was so, I'll never forget, I was so honored to be able to introduce him and then just sort of say, this is the real deal, guys and gals. So the fact that he's going to be there is really exciting. Get to see him again.
And we wrote his, GSoW rewrote his Wikipedia page. So that's really been kind of.
Oh, fantastic.
So we get to know the person in a way that you would just not normally know the person, because we have to watch the videos and the podcasts and the interviews and I didn't do this page, but I overseeing the project, I have my hand in everything, and so I can go back and check to make sure the grammar is right and all that kind of stuff. Not that I know what I'm doing, but I fake it really well, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all there. We're all the faking syndrome, whatever it's called. Yeah. But no, it's great. Actually the work that you've done on coordinating all that stuff into letting it have a certain tone, I think is really wonderful. And I think it's really spoken well of the sort of movement and of the people that are involved, and that there is a consistency to what you've done is really, really nice. So kudos.
Oh, I'll take kudos. Kudos for my team. They're awesome. I've had several new people join the last couple of days, and I've had 2 people graduate my training in the last 2 days, and I'm just like, I can't believe every day that I get to do this, and that these are amazing people volunteer to have me torture them through training, and they listen to what I'm saying, and they follow my instructions that I've just made up, and
it's got to feel rewarding though, right? I mean, it's got to be a pretty rewarding thing where you can take someone who is, people always ask me, what can I do to help in terms of critical thinking? And here's a perfect example of, so they go with you and they work, and boy, that must be really rewarding for not just for them to be able to do it, but for you to be able to guide them into a channel into which they can kind of help and have a tremendous amount of help. So it's just really cool. I think it's really, really cool.
I'm going to be in New Zealand, so I'm going to find me some New Zealand editors while I'm there, or strong arm them. Eugenie Scott's going to be giving me a lot of advice too, because she went last year.
Oh, good. Okay. There's another awesome speaker. Boy, every time she gives a lecture, I just love it. It's just so interesting, and I always forget how sort of funny and sort of spot on she is, and I hate myself for it, because every time she talks and I'm there, I've introduced her or whatever, and I'm listening, and I'm always illuminated. I'm always taught something. I'm always laughing, and I always forget. And at the end of the speech, I always think, how can I forget I know how awesome she is, but I really forget how awesome she is. There's another person that's just, I'm so excited to see, and she's always so sweet and just funny and yeah, just great. This list of speakers is just so fantastic for this entire thing.
The great thing about Eugenie Scott is she actually lives fairly near to me, and I see her several times a year. She's up in San Francisco.
That's great.
And so
That's right.
I'm in Salinas, so I go up and I see her, and it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And she comes over to me and hugs me and knows me by name. It's just like, oh my God, Eugenie Scott knows my name.
Isn't that crazy? Like I'm still there. I know I've been fortunate enough to get a little bit of exposure and meet a lot of people, but it's still it's still pretty mind-numbing when James Randi says, "Hi, George," and he's not reading my name tag.
Oh,
it's just crazy. It's just crazy cool, or if Banachek says hi, or Joe Nichols says hi. It's like, what? Like, I've read everything you've written, and I feel in a way you probably feel the same way, sort of like an ambassador. Like, I'm an ambassador of the fans. Like that's what I feel my role is, that I get to sort of be behind the scenes and kind of be involved in it, but I'm still this sort of crazy uber fan of these people, and I'm just so into what they represent and how they communicate and the influence they've had on me and on my friends and on people that are in a similar situation like me, that I get to feel like I get to fanboy and report to everybody else, and I'm so pleased to almost to a person be able to say they are as cool as you want them to be.
and more. Like, and more.
And more. Yeah.
Like, it takes it even more. Now, Ray Hyman sent me an email the other day, and I adore Ray Hyman. He's one of my favorite people in the all-time world, and he comes up to me and he hugs me and we sit and we talk. I filmed him so many times, many interviews, and I just can't get over how amazing this guy has been around. And we are what we are as a community and as a movement because of people like James Randi and Ray Hyman and Elizabeth Loftus. I keep seeing her name coming up in old Skeptical Inquirer magazines. Not that she's old, but I'm going through Skeptical Inquirer magazines. I've been doing a lot of research, and oh my gosh, she has been around and she has been doing stuff. Just amazing person. I really looking forward. Well, actually, I'm looking at the list and there's nobody on here I am not excited really probably of seeing. I mean, James Alcott, same thing. Ken Frazier. Yeah. Oh, geez. I mean, I'm going to forget somebody. Harriet Hall, of course. Harriet Hall started at the same time in the skeptic movement I did.
There's another person. It's just like, in the trenches since the beginning and still just as vibrant and vital and important as ever.
Right.
It's so, Ray is another, like you said, is a great, I shared a cab with him to the airport after one TAM, and it was like the coolest 12 minutes because he just started telling stories, and I just thought, like, okay, can we circle around the airport for a while, because I have this one-on-one with Ray, and it's just really,
I had
really
a
cool.
layover with him once too. I was coming back from something and we sat for an hour and just talked, and I was like, I need to be recording this. This is just so ridiculous. And so every time I see him, I record him. And Massimo Polidoro, oh my gosh,
totally.
What
another
a
one.
sweetheart. He'll sit down and all of these people, you got to come to this conference, you guys. If you're listening to this, you have to go, because they are as excited to meet you as you are to meet them.
That is the thing, is that it's like, we talk about having, shared cab rides and sitting in an airport with someone. But the beauty of these conferences, which anyone that has attended could confirm, is that, after 6 o'clock, after 7 o'clock, when all the sort of talks are done for the day, and before maybe the evening event is happening, you go and you sort of, you find a corner somewhere, you find a bar somewhere, and it's all of the people that have been on stage are at the bar, and you can totally walk up and sort of chat and talk, and it's encouraged. And like I said, everyone is so approachable and wants to talk about this stuff, wants to talk about what they've talked about, wants to hear the influence that maybe they've had. That's what I love to do. You have like two of these, two heavy hitters talking in a bar about, whether there should be manned space flight or not. We all agree there should be space flight. We all agree there should be a NASA. That's not the question. The question is, okay, do we send robots or do we send people? And then you just sit there and you listen, and it's like, this is this inside track, and I'm gonna sit here till 2 a.m. I'm not saying a word. I'm just gonna milk this drink and listen, and it's fantastic. So it's a whole other side of what these kinds of conferences can offer, and I think specifically these sorts that are with these people that are not, they're not rock stars. I mean, they're rock stars to us, but they don't have entourages. They're not cordoned off from the people that are coming to the conference. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to really intermingle and talk to them one-on-one. That's what's so lovely about these kinds of meetings, is that we do get to treat these people like rock stars. However, they've earned the accolades and they've earned the celebrity because of their actions, because of their philosophical standpoint, because of the works that they've written, the things that they've done. So to me, it's a celebration of a lot of these speakers, and to be able to say, wow, you've fostered critical thinking. You've fostered the scientific method in this somewhat difficult landscape. So yay. So again, hooray. And let's celebrate the fact that you are, Ray Hyman is our rock star, but he's earned it. He's earned it. It's not just because, he looks great and can sing a couple songs. So it's nice. It's nice, which I'm sure he does look great, and I'm sure he probably could sing.
Do you think Ray Hyman could sing?
I don't know. I wonder. We'll have to find out.
We got to try that. Tell me about the sing-along stuff. I never can seem to stay awake long enough for this, but this year I'm going to do it. So tell us about your sing-along, because I watched the videos. In fact, I've watched the videos many times, and I every time I say, where am I? Why do I miss this? This is like the highlight of TAM. The Sunday paper presentations are got to be my favorite. And then the George Hrab sing-along. So
what I've done the last couple of years is I found a corner after everything was done, and I've done a little mini concert of my songs, and I do about an hour. Just some people wanted to hear some things of mine, so I sort of do it. It's a very laid back kind of deal. And then after that, I say, all right, we're going to find another corner somewhere. And then I'm just going to play songs that I like, cover songs, standards. I'm a huge fanatic for standards from the 30s and 40s. They're just such beautiful songs, and they're just these little beautiful little puzzles that just you solve by singing them. And we find a corner, and whoever wants to come over, and before I start the song, I say what I'm singing. And everyone gets their phones out and they Google the lyrics. They find the lyrics, which is just so cool.
Amazing.
And if you know the song, you sing along. If you don't know the song, by the third chorus, you might know the song and you sing along. And that's it. And these things go on until 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And it's some of the most, I have no voice by the end of it. I'm just like, there's nothing, especially, Vegas in July, there's just the dryness is what it is, but it doesn't matter. And so we just sort of all hang out, and it's a very chill, kind of fun environment. It's some of the most fun I have, because I get to play songs for 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever it is. And yeah, someone's always filming them and always posting them, which, whatever. But it's just a little fun coda to the entire weekend that I really am honored to be able to kind of take part in. So yeah, people call stuff out. If I know it, I try to do it. If I don't know it, I try to figure it out. It's kind of fun.
So, you and I did this really brilliant interview. It was a written interview just a few months ago. And I suppose it's too early to hear from any of the award committees about how awesome it was, but the link is going to be in the show notes. It'll go to the SciCon website where you can register. You guys have got to read this. It's so brilliant. I mean, I'm telling you, George is far more funny.
That's just the questions. That's just the questions. Forget about the answers. The questions are just incredible.
You guys just ignore him. Just ignore him. He's funny as heck. So is there anything else, George? I mean, I could talk to you for hours, and I hope. But what else? Okay. Is there anything else I need to know?
Oh my gosh, no! Just I'm looking forward to it. I'm pleased that there is an event happening in the desert sands of Vegas, which is going to collect a whole bunch of people together. And I just want to reiterate that it really is a special and unique time. I've said this before, but sometimes people say, events like that are preaching to the choir, but it's nice to be in the choir for once. That is the most appealing thing, I think, that these conferences can offer, is this sort of environment in which you can be completely surrounded by like-minded people and have some of the most fascinating and wonderful conversations you're ever going to have. So that's what I want to sort of reiterate and push to people about that are on the fence about whether it's worth coming or not. Right. I would say wholeheartedly it's worth coming.
I totally agree. I've been to SciCon in Tacoma. I spoke in Tacoma in 2013, and I was just finishing up chemo. So I was in chemo, and I had no hair, and I had the most fun at the Halloween contest.
Oh, nice.
I was bald. So I was able to do anything I wanted. I was Cleopatra one moment. Half the day I was somebody else. I was Medusa. I came as a phrenology dummy to the Halloween contest. And I should remind everybody, there is going to be a Halloween contest and Halloween costumes the whole time. So you guys can dress up all you want.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it's definitely a must. You got to come and go to the Halloween contest at SciCon.
Is that Sunday? Is that Saturday? Sunday?
Saturday night. Saturday night.
Saturday night.
But I'm planning on dressing up quite a bit during the whole time, and so I mean, it's Vegas. You can do whatever you want. Well, George, thank you so much. I'm going to have some stuff in the show notes. I'll put a link to your podcast and
Lovely. Thank you.
all those amazing things.
Sounds good.
Thank you
Keep
so
doing
much
what you're
for
doing,
taking
okay?
Hey, I will definitely. On this.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.